the show we call Tech Talk Taco Tuesday. It's your favorite weekly motorcycle show where we don't talk about racing. We don't acknowledge racers. We just talk about your motorcycle and motorcycle product related questions. Is that correct, Logan?
Yes.
Yeah. So Logan is my co-host. He's been doing this for how many? 70 shows now, you're guessing? 35, 20? I don't remember.
I think 60.
You talk twice as much, which is really good because in this show I'm probably going to need to be drinking a little bit. So we have a lot of guests here tonight in the house. Probably, quite possibly, more Baja 1000 winners in one single place than most places, unless it's like some sort of ceremony for Baja 1000 winners, right? Right? I think so. I'm just checking. C. Yeah, C. That's what I heard. There are probably, there's only one guy in here that's gotten third place in Dakar. It's just, that's me. I'm tooting my own horn because this is my show and I can talk about whatever I want. But anyways, thanks everybody for joining in. The thing is pretty soon there's going to be some guy walking in with a bunch of tacos, and he's going to be really bummed out when he doesn't get to be a co-host right away. So we're going to have to play up on that. But since you're in this room, this is the rules here. You will get to come on to this show. You need to kind of appear on the show for different reasons. So without the most, I'm sure everybody really wants to have my new co-host on Tech Talk Taco Tuesday, Ricky Brabeck, the guy who won last year's, not this year's, but last year's Dakar, who hates doing media. Look at him shake his head. Come on, we got a seat right over here for you.
Already up?
Already up. We're starting up with the guy. Remember, you got to pay off those sponsors. The sponsorship doesn't come free. You think just winning races is all you need to do, and which is true. You know, when you win. When I was a journalist and I had to interview guys that won, they could be real dicks to me. I hate to use that word, but that's because they're winning and they that's their job and that's what they're supposed to do. But when you get second place, all of a sudden you have to start doing things like appearances and sponsor reads. But nobody really, at that point, I'm being mean here, Ricky, nobody wants to talk to you when you get second place. Your phone's not ringing like it was last year, right?
No, I'm not complaining about that one bit.
Oh, I got it. Okay, see, my producer here had me work on your mic. You're not complaining anymore, right? Just check. I'm checking sound levels.
No, I'm not complaining one bit.
Good. Okay. So I'm trying to do this thing over here. So because you're the Honda guy and Honda proudly supports this show, and Logan said you couldn't do this very good, so there's some words on this paper right over there.
The bolded spot.
The bolded thing right there. You got to read this.
The bolded spot?
Yeah.
That's the bold lettering?
The bold lettering. Yeah, you start right up there at the top.
You want me to read this whole thing?
Yeah, that whole thing. It takes 30 seconds. It's called a 30-second read. Right there, yeah.
Honda's new 2021 CRF 450R is designed to take you straight from the starting gate to the victory circle. This awesome open-class motocrosser features an all-new chassis, major engine overhaul, new suspension, new bodywork, and you cannot forget about the clutch fade. You can forget about the clutch fade.
Forget about that clutch fade.
Yeah. Adjustment or hand fatigue with the new hydraulic clutch system. Lighter than ever, the CRF 450R explodes out of the corners when it's time to increase your lead. You got some nice words going on here, Jimmy.
Yeah.
So get on down to your local dealer and check out the new 2021 Honda CRF 450R. Go to mx.honda.com to see our full lineup of competition bikes. The CRF 450R is intended for closed course operation only.
Wow. That was good, huh, Logan?
Yeah.
I got a little shy, a little scared.
No, that's good. So now you've paid your penance. Now we can talk about whatever you want to talk about.
Who's next on the show?
all day long. He's been pawning this off. But I'm sure out there in...
I get suckered into this thing every Tuesday I'm here.
I know. Why do you think we always schedule the rally training over Tuesdays, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Andrew's fault.
Yeah, Andrew doesn't want to be on either. So, anyways, thanks for coming on, Ricky. I'm sure everybody wants to know about this year's Dakar, and I told him when I talked to you, like most of us, like real humans, regular people, would be pretty stinking stoked to get second place in Dakar. I know I would have, because it was better than third, but you're probably not happy.
No, I'm happy now, but at the time during Dakar, obviously we were really close, and it was definitely there, like arm's length away, and
4 minutes. Right?
No, it's 50 seconds at one point. And it sucked for sure coming home with a second after being 50 seconds away from the lead. But unfortunately, if you keep winning stages, you have to open the next day. And I had to open one of the longest days of the rally, and it kind of bit me in the ass. But
it's funny because I know because been a racer, and I think this is what probably a lot of people at home, they when you say this, we feel this. I mean, as a fan, you're like, oh, because everybody wanted you to bring it back a second time, and I know you did, and I know how hard you trained. So what I would do right now is completely blame it on your support staff. Like I would blame it on your motorhome driver. And what did you do, Kendall?
The Motorhome Championships, dude.
Huh? Support? Yeah, blame it on support. Do not blame it on your rally training guy. That much, because I'll take some responsibility for it. No, but it's funny. When the guys get on the podium and say it's a team effort, it like on at that level, when you're racing at any high level, where it's motocross, supercross, rally racing, any kind of thing like that, there's a lot of team effort in it. And I mean, unfortunately, you're the guy that's put on the pedestal, and you're the one that has to do all the stuff. But you should blame everybody else, like your tires. You got to blame your tires, and
no, I said something about the tires, and the organization
got mad at you.
Yeah,
that is a stupid rule.
Well, it wasn't really a rule, but like our team manager guy said that they wanted me to delete it or something off the Instagram because I was talking crap about the tire rule.
I don't know. I think from a safety standpoint, that was a bad decision. I don't know. Yeah. And I can say whatever I want, right? And you can say whatever you want, but they're really trying to make the rally safer. In net, they're trying to make it safer. I raced one of these death machines. I mean, a twin cylinder bike, and it wasn't a death machine. It was depending on how I worked the throttle. It could be the safest bike in the rally, depending on how I work the throttle. But when I'm racing, I'm going to pin it. I'm gonna go as fast as I possibly can. Limiting a tire strategy, it's dangerous. It's just plain dangerous. I mean, because the tire, especially the rear tire, is used to control the bike when you're trying to slow down. in a lot of ways,
or ride it in a straight line.
Yeah, or ride it in a straight line. And the fact that you could change mousses inside of a horribly used tire, like that's just sort of crazy. Because I don't know, there's lots of different things. Make more marathon stages. That would maybe slow some stuff down, but it obviously, I don't know. I mean, it didn't slow Toby down when he had a tire blowing out the side of his bike, and they zip tied it and glued it together and whatever they did.
Another thing is, like, everyone thought that Toby's tire wasn't going to make it, and I mean, it was pretty sketchy looking at what he did, and I knew from experience, zip ties aren't going to work. Like they don't work that good. They used metal bands, right? Yeah, but he still didn't do the whole stage with the zip ties staying on his wheel. He had to ride 200-something kilometers in the morning on the highway. So that alone is going to break the zip ties off. Yeah. And then, we rode really fast, and he got second, I think, that day. And he said he tried saying that he was just cruising. Like, no, because me and Nacho were going wide open the whole entire day. Yeah. So, when does that guy ever just cruise? Yeah, never, exactly. He doesn't have that speed. So,
It was gut wrenching. I mean, it was like the struggles in the first week and the learning the new, they definitely emphasized navigation. And that played into how everything worked, and that whole seesaw, or what were you guys calling it? Seesaw, yo-yo at the front, huh? Rubber band at the front, yeah. And
everyone was losing time. Doesn't matter who started in the front; they would lose 15 minutes.
Yeah, and it's different. It was just a different rally, and that's the thing about rally. And so the reason Ricky's out here, and the reason Jake Albright's out here, and Kendall Norman's out here, and a few other guys are out here with us, is that we're doing a kind of a rally training thing, and sort of I call it Rally 101, and it's just to refresh the guys that have been here and doing this. It's to refresh on the basics, and for some of the newer guys to like learn all of the things that you need to know in order to eventually navigate fast. So we're out here playing around with, learning how to do stuff and relearning how to do stuff. And what Ricky told me, what'd you tell me last night? that you never took this class before.
Yeah, I never took this class before.
You've taken it.
I don't remember it.
That's good you're back. Yeah.
And it's been a long time.
Probably. Yeah. No, you had to have taken all this stuff, because we wouldn't have been doing the advanced stuff unless you kind of understood the basics, which at some point you kind of have to roll back and learn the really, I mean, I have to do it a lot of times, even just with riding stuff. I have to go, why am I struggling with this? And I have to learn the basics. By the way, if George was here, is you telling me that should be a plug for my school or something? Whatever I do, my day job.
Everybody's saying Ricky Burbeck's speaker's down.
His speaker's down. Here comes the tacos. It's not as loud as us, so I'll try to turn him up more. I can give him a little bit more.
Dang, I'm going to be in the center spotlight.
You want to switch?
Nope.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm doing great.
You want to do another read?
No.
No, the next one's for another brand. You can't do it.
Yep, can't do it.
So, they have questions for him, Logan? Yeah, if you have any questions for Ricky, you got to get him out of the way quick, because he only guaranteed me like 20 minutes of on-air time tonight.
Dude, the last Taco Talk show, whatever this is, hey, last time was like 2 hours and 17 minutes that I was on the show.
Yeah, you came in on one of the early ones at Ramiro's, didn't you?
No, I did one at Ramiro's.
Yeah, one of Ramiro's, like in the early days.
And when you were still in the teens, I think.
Yeah, the caveman of Trek. You need some tequila, by the way?
No.
Yeah, smart guy. I was gonna
got
ask,
a big day tomorrow. I don't know what I'm doing yet.
You're gonna do the
Roadbook,
the sweep, kind of the sweep part of the Roadbook, but you have to open when you know how we have the practices where we always send the novices out front so they make bad lines.
Yeah.
Did the guys hear that? Wow.
You said you were going to send us half an hour before, and I was like, I didn't think you would catch us, but you probably would.
So that's if you're listening, and we're gonna get every national hare and hound champion on here as well. Oh wait, you have to give me 20 more minutes because you're a national hare and hound champion.
Yeah, but like back in the day.
Yeah. Oh, we don't talk about that anymore. It's the stepping stones. Yeah, thanks, Ricky. I've never done one of those. I won like a 125 class or something, but that doesn't count.
There's a couple now.
There's a couple questions. Okay,
Dang.
what's the questions?
What's up with the paper navigation on Dakar? Seems like the GPX navigation is on King of the Motos would be safer, cheaper, and easier to implement. Guess that wasn't really one.
That's a.
I think King of the Motos, you just follow an arrow.
Yeah, it's
in
not
a line.
So, I might know something about this because I used to be the race director before I quit. So the Dakar Rally navigation is map book navigation, and so it's almost like. If you don't know what the map book looks like, it looks like a dual sport ride roll chart, but very complicated from there. And they do not get a quote GPX track log. They're not following an arrow on a screen. they're reading paper instructions. Somebody want to grab me like a
Kendall has books.
Kendall? You got a map book roll in your hand or something?
George,
I'll hold it up. I'll hold it up for the screen. Yeah, that one will work. It's way more complicated than just following a GPX. But this is what, and I promise you that if you gave these guys an arrow and a line to follow on a map, it would not be safer. There'd be, because that's the way the open arrow ones are, like in Dubai and stuff, and in the dunes.
That's crazy fast.
Yeah, look, there's a guy telling you it's crazy. So Logan, hold that sucker up and kind of aim it at the screen. So Logan's going to show you what a map book looks like. It would, if it was just chasing an arrow, it would not be the race that it is, because nobody would really get lost, and this skills of navigation wouldn't be all that popular. I don't think it'd be. What would a Dakar like be if it was an open arrow rally?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think people will still get lost if it's anything like that Garmin.
Oh, the thing,
whatever
the
training you had to
do.
be doing. If it's anything like that, that would be miserable.
Well, no, it's not like that. That's way harder. That's meant to be difficult. But
you still, it's the same thing,
But
because you still have to make a turn on to right.
But on like King of the Motos, when you go off course, your arrow goes off the line, and you know you're off course. You just go back to the line, and so same thing. Imagine just going through the desert, and you're just going, you're pinning, you're going the fastest way, and you notice you're off the line. It's like, oh, there's the line. I'm going to go over here and go back to it. It'd be so simple. And the problem with that is all of a sudden it's so easy to navigate. You start looking down too much, and then you have a problem. And this is why all the guys complain at King of the Motors. They're like, it's so hard to navigate because they can't go full race speed.
Yeah, they got to go slow.
You've got to budget the time to look down at the thing. So I don't think that's an issue or something that's going to make it safer.
But I think even if you had like an arrow, it'd be like being in an off-road car with a Lawrence, like a GPS, like Baja.
Yeah. Yeah, it becomes that, which is totally different completely too. So what's our next one, Logan?
What moose did Ricky use in the Dakar? How many hours would they put on them before changing?
Moose?
Yeah.
We use the Michelin mooses, and depends. We change the mooses every day, so it could be from 8 hours to 11 hours, typically.
How can you breathe all that dust and not have respiratory issues?
I want to know the same thing, but not from Riley. There's more
dust in District 37.
There's more dust in District 37 or off-road car racing or anything else, because in the Dakar or any rally you start with 3-minute gaps, so it's very rare that you're in dust. But I wonder the same thing after all these years racing motorcycles.
Flat track dust behind me yesterday, right?
Oh,
George is throwing up all kinds of dust to the street tire in the flat track yesterday.
yeah. So Ricky got a new GoPro, and what are you going to start doing? Vlogging? You got Ricky vlogs?
Yeah, well, we're gonna try,
Uh-huh.
but I don't have patience to necessarily do this all the time.
I'll bet you could get Logan to edit those for you.
Perfect.
You just
Are you bored almost all the time?
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you get good at that, then you got to get mine up quicker.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't pay him that much. You can get him kind of cheap. He's good. He'll learn how to do it, and if he can't do it, his sister will. She's probably on it, right? You know how to do that video editing stuff? Got it all dialed in?
Kinda, yeah.
Say yeah, and
They
then
don't
you
know.
and you get
Yes, and then I'll figure it out.
yeah, it's just pushing buttons on a phone. You know what else? Shouldn't you be pumping your t-shirts? Your t-shirts.
Dude, I'm not even around. I'm not doing that right
So
now.
I was wondering why I didn't have one. Like I had to wear my own t-shirt. I had to pump JimmyLewisOffroad.com.
Dude, we pumped you up on Instagram all day today.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
I wasn't-
You should check it.
Oh, is that where? How do I do that?
You go on your
Logan, how come you-
Instagram, dude.
Logan, how come you didn't advise me that I should be checking my Instagram? Like George was supposed to do this, but he's more worried about tacos and tequila, which is okay.
He's worried
That's-
about flat track, dude.
Oh, on that sketchy tire. We were going to go live from the flat track tonight, weren't we?
I don't know, but we could do it. Yeah, we should have. That
Okay.
would've been way cooler. Dude, that's what I'm saying. You need a deck out there with your Tech Talk Taco Tuesdays on the deck with motos in the background and then some big old lights, dude.
Tomorrow, Wednesday.
Wednesday freaking Tech Talk, dude.
You're gonna you'll build the deck with all that wood that's out there?
Just pull your flatbed trailer over.
Dude, yeah, way cheaper.
Oh man.
And it's mobile.
Don't give me any bad ideas.
You could do Tech Talk on the lake bed.
Okay, Kyle McCoy has a question.
What is the biggest difference note-wise between this year and last year's rally? Triple cap, one note.
Yeah. Basically, it was triple cap, one note, or sometimes having two caps on one note with more meters that would equal, or with meters that would equal more than the next note would even line up to.
Hey, you're starting to talk that weird language.
I know.
That nobody understands.
I didn't really even understand what I said, but hopefully it made sense.
Yeah, I know what you said. We know.
So there's 1,000 meters in a kilometer, right?
Right.
So when they put three notes basically in one note, they would say in X amount of meters, but that X amount of meters could be 200 meters. So if they put at 200 meters do this, and then at 600 meters do that, and then
That's 800.
and then at
300 more.
and then 300 more
Do this.
do this,
And
but,
the next note comes up.
but the next note is less than what they just told you to do, so it becomes really confusing.
You didn't wander around enough meters in between the note. You should be going.
Yeah.
You should be doing some S
I
turns.
should be looking
Did
down,
we do
right?
that drill in the dry lake today? The wandering around between the cone to figure out how to make more distance and less distance. We have a drill for that.
I couldn't figure out how to make more distance and less distance.
Yeah. So you should blame your trainer.
Yeah.
That's what I would do.
Off road.
Joe asks, how do you like the tire rules, and will they be the same next year?
Yeah, the tire rule I think is the stupidest thing ever, and the organization knows that, especially for me. And I don't know if it's gonna be the same next year.
Did any top riders like that rule?
No, I don't think anyone liked that rule.
Nobody. And was it only the elite riders that were held to that rule?
Yeah.
It was only the elite riders. Yeah. I should send David Castera my opinions too. You know, not that he cares, but he did beat me one year. He took me off the podium. It sucked.
I think it wasn't Dave Castera that had that rule. I think it was the FIA.
Really? Yeah, I don't understand that because, you know, and anyways, I mean,
People that
there's
don't ride motorcycles made the rule.
Oh, that makes perfect sense then.
Yeah.
Yeah. What does Chris Real want to know? I like saying Real. It sounds more sophisticated.
How much water and fluids did you consume in a day on the bike?
Yeah, we're supposed to carry 3 liters of water on us, but I mean, I don't really drink that much water when I'm riding because I'm just not. I don't know. I don't do that. I'd rather have the water for safety if I break down. But I couldn't really tell you how much like water I drank in a day. As far as snacks, I tried to eat as much as I could. So sometimes I can range from a granola bar to beef jerky to peanut butter to some gummy bears, some electrolytes.
Man, you got all that stuff on the rally?
Dude, in one little tiny sandwich bag, and I bring it from my house.
Oh, you brought
Yeah.
it. Dude, when I rode, I had like poo-poo in a can, like this poo-poo stuff.
Yeah, it's tuna.
Yeah, it's like, but it was worse than that because it was out in the desert. It'd been a truck. It was 110 degrees all day. And then you had like some chips that turned into dust and some cookies that were like rocks.
Crumbles.
Yeah, yeah. Man, this rally's getting a little soft.
The rally's getting
right, Johnny?
soft.
What?
Rally, there's getting a little soft. The old rally.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're eating. He's bringing gourmet food with him on the rally.
It's way too soft. Motorhomes and
Motorhomes.
12
We'll talk about. We'll get the motorhome champions in here too.
Oh, they don't know if they even got the world championship. It was a heated battle every day. It was runner up.
There was a dispute about the motorhome championships.
They only won a couple stages apparently, from what I heard.
What does Bobby Coleman want to know?
How does a highly controlled event happen to have water in the fuel? What's the inside story?
Old ass drums. I don't know. I don't really know, but I'm thinking they had an old drum that they're getting the fuel out of.
Or
I don't know.
that was the first one that they sucked out of the tanker into the drum, and it was just like normal water, like water condenses in
Condensation,
fuel.
yeah.
Condensation condenses in fuel, or maybe that was the first one that they filled up the drum because. Kind of explain the fuel stop, how it was with all the different. There's like fuel stations, but they were out of 55-gallon drums.
No, they're out of tankers. So like you get up to the middle of the desert and it's like out of a tanker truck with a hose running through the bottom of the truck, like the belly.
And so Andrew just happened to pull up to a different truck.
It was one truck.
Oh, it was a single truck.
Yeah.
Because he said he went to a different guy. He said he thought he was the first guy.
But
the first
truck
one to go
has
to
like 3 pumps off of it.
Oh, so it might have been a different segment in the truck.
Yeah, maybe like the hose was full of water. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, and he got
I
them
was just after him, so
from the same guy.
there was only I don't know. There's a couple. There's like 3 guys or 4 guys at one truck.
Yeah.
That the hoses are all coming out of. So I don't know. Maybe like the hose. Maybe the hose that he got was like a brand new hose.
So you went to the same guy that Andrew did.
Well, I don't know if it's the same guy, but the same truck.
Same truck. I was just checking to see if Andrew took all the water for you. He's a nice guy.
No, he was a couple minutes ahead of me, but I don't know if it's the same guy. But I think it's the same truck.
Yeah, man, that must have sucked. I mean, I know it sucked. And he held his head up pretty damn high for that.
Yeah, and he flew home the next day, and then the day he flew home, he was already going on the motocross track, dude.
He didn't get enough riding in.
No, heck no.
Yeah. No, it took him a few more days. It took him a few days to get home because I talked to him a couple times, and because I heard some interviews he did and stuff like that, and just Andrew's the nicest guy, super nice, and like you could tell how just he wanted to. He was like, and he got robbed. I mean, but you think about it in the grand scheme of it, for them to neutralize the race after that happened, because he was really the only one that was super affected by it, and you can't just insert someone back in the rally because then it's different, and it's I've seen other guys have been victims of that, like Stefan Peterhansel in the first year I did the rally. He same thing, got fuel, and he managed to nurse his bike in, but he lost a ton of time. And he just quit. He just said, screw this, and I quit. Because he knew he couldn't, all he was there to do was win. He was that guy. He could just win, and there's no reason to start with a 3-hour deficit and kind of keep going. But yeah, it was kind of a shame for Andrew, because I know how you see how much he works on his bike. He knows how to work on that bike. We watched him when he was here training when the gas cap fell off and he got dirt in his thing. I know he knows his fuel systems because we watched him take the tank off and clean everything out and do all that stuff. And so, man, he
was saying he did he had wired his fuel pump.
He wired
the battery or something.
Different fuel pumps to get it to pump, and it'd pop and fire every once. I can only imagine, I just can put myself in that situation where you think you can fix it and you can't, and you don't know why, and at that point, the gas is shook up and mixed up, and poor guy. So okay, what's our next question, Logan?
Curly Stoker, maybe Dakar could take lessons from Logan. Rider operating the bike, girl passenger is the navigator. Then you go full fast and get the navigation girl. Win-win.
We have a navigation girl here.
Yeah, she's going to be on the show later.
That's what I'm talking about.
Right.
Save your question.
All right, save your questions, because we have our newest expert navigator is going to answer. If you have navigation questions, you just have to hold them for a little while. And when Sarah Price gets on this show, she will answer. She'll take all of your motorcycle navigation questions, for sure. But Logan, what do you think about that idea?
Sounds like FIA will get mad.
The FIA is not going to approve this.
Probably not.
No, you need to start making the rules and start sending them letters.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you think his girlfriend would be a good navigator?
Yes.
Yeah. Really? Mm-hmm. Wow. We'll have to test you. I got a small rally. We got the times from the guys today. I'll give you that same map book. So I'll give you the iPad. She just rides in the back, holding the iPad, however you guys do it. I don't know. I ran into him. I was driving my UTV. Me and Heather were driving the UTV, and we're like kind of bouncing across the desert. And there was these kids. You could see these people on motorcycles sitting there. We kind of went bouncing by, and he even heard me. I go, I think that was Logan, because there was, and you were there too, right? Yeah, you were there with your boyfriend.
I think so.
Oh, so you're part of this double on the bike out with the dirt bikes club, right?
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh yeah. So I went bouncing by it. I'm like, because it was funny because I saw orange KTMs, and I know Logan has a black KTM, but I saw orange KTMs and younger kids on it. I'm like, oh look, they're out there riding with their girlfriends, and it's like, yeah, I think that was Logan, but he has a black one.
Oh, I think that's Jimmy.
So that's why we're joking about this. If you don't know what the joke is, I ran across Logan and his girlfriend and his sister and her boyfriend out. They were out. I think they were doing smooching.
No.
No, there was no smooching going on. I know the helmet. The helmet's getting in the way, right? Yeah. Okay. Good. Just stick with that story. We weren't smooching. We had our helmets on. They did have their helmets on. I do know this. Yeah, the helmets were on. So they were locking full face helmets. So, okay. What are we at next?
Rusty Nail. Tell us a little about the stop to help the downrider. Is it difficult to get your rhythm back afterwards?
Yeah, sometimes it's definitely hard to get your rhythm after you see like your friend on the ground. I think it would be the same in any situation, whether it's motorsports or normal sports. It always sucks to see someone hurt, in the same competition that you're in. So this isn't my first time coming up on a downed rider or hurt one, and we do the best we can as far as calling the organization and pushing like your rescue button on your bike. Sometimes it takes 10 minutes or 8 minutes. Sometimes it takes 3 minutes. It just depends on where you're at on the course. But you sit there and you wait until everything's okay and you're able to leave. But it's definitely slow going as you leave the scene.
Yeah. But that's the one thing I always was amazed with at Dakar is the response time, the safety response time. You think about like if you had a crash like that in Baja.
Yeah,
it's like good luck.
Yeah, exactly.
Even a hare and hound, and they really try to do stuff. It's like
hare and hound would be.
They don't have a helicopter with a doctor in it.
They don't have. Well, they have a helicopter, but how are you going to get your body from wherever you are to where the helicopter is?
Yeah.
An ambulance ain't
sometimes they'll move it and land it and everything like that. But it's like the whole infrastructure of the Dakar is so they are really built around safety, and they do their best, and that's why I'm blown away by the tire thing. But at the same time, we can kind of keep going back on that all the time. We got another one.
Danny Turner, what do you see heart rate wise during the rally?
Oh, he ain't gonna tell you.
It depends. If you're riding through the dunes, your heart rate might be. It all depends on where you're at in starting position.
Yeah.
If you're riding up front, like if you're opening, for sure your heart rate's going to be pretty high up there because you're just nervous and scared. But if you're riding in the back, then it's a little bit more relaxed. I mean, honestly, your heart rate's higher at a Grand Prix or a Hare and Hound or a Best on Desert race or a Baja than it would be for a rally.
Yeah.
You always want us to wear heart rate monitors, but I'd be like, dude, I bet you my heart rate's like 140 to 160.
I want it. I try to get him to wear a heart rate monitor because I want to see where his heart rate is when he makes a navigation mistake.
I just say, oh, shit. We got to turn around now.
See, Johnny, we got to get the heart rate monitor into the program. He won't do it.
Heart rate on that one stage was through the roof.
Yeah, there had to be some through the roof heart rates, right?
Oh, this Dakar, yeah, because I was so pissed off.
Well, then we have to simulate that, which is going to hurt me as much as it hurts you. Next.
Tom Copey.
Copey.
What do you think?
Copey K.
Kopek?
You want to try to spell it? Say it. It's Koepke. We're big into the pronunciations here on this show.
Toki? I don't know. Toki?
Okay, Tom.
Sorry, bud. We're in prompt.
What
Not
do you?
much school here.
Well, that's obvious, right, Logan?
Yes. Yes. What do you think about the Tech Vest performance after the simulations in this year's rally?
The Tech Vest is from Alpine Star. I'm confident that it's way advanced than any other thing out there because when I came up on Toby Price, he started 3 minutes ahead of me, and I'm not sure how long he was on the ground before I got to him, but his vest was still aired up, and I was like a little bit scared because it never like deflated.
Yeah.
But the Alpine Star one, for sure, on me, it's blown up one time in the sand dunes when me and Kendall were out there training before we left. It's...
Did you hit the ground?
Yeah, I did a full, complete front flip. The bike just stuck in the sand, and I just went...
Yeah.
But, no, it was good. I mean, it's scary. It's loud, for sure, but I feel like we can have more protection from plastic pieces and, like, rubber around us rather than just an airbag on our chest and spine.
Yeah, it's kind of cool to see they're working on different things and trying this stuff. I know, there's a couple different companies. Climb, who supports the show, is working on one. They have one for street bikes, and there's the ones. Alpine Stars has those crazy ones that work in the MotoGP, and it's good to see that they're forward thinking. Hey, what's the next level we can do this, and it'll get better and better as they learn more and more because every time it goes off, they download the data that you guys basically give them back. You're pretty good crash test dummy.
Me?
Yeah.
My bike didn't touch the ground once in Dakar.
No. In the practice crash.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You're an expensive crash test dummy. They should just give them to me. I can, remember that belly flop I did last day of rally training? It wasn't a belly flop. It was a back
And
flop.
the slowest part of the whole road book.
You went blowing by me, and I wasn't going to try to keep up or anything like that. But, then you and Kendall are wondering where I'm at. Could be, dying out in the desert. I made it.
Was that on the borrowed bike, too?
Oh, I bought that bike now. You didn't hear about this.
Oh, my God.
You didn't hear about this. So I borrowed a bike because my bike made a ticky noise, bad ticky noise. So I traded it. I upgraded I went from a 2014 to what year is that? 2020, Jim? 2020 KTM. It's a one from Portugal.
Yeah, 6 days edition.
Oh, who knows what 6 days is? It says Portugal on it. So Jim has the Portugal, and I said, hey, Jim, can I borrow the Portugal? Johnny's laughing because he was there. He saw the exchange. And I abandoned all the road books. I said, I'm going to go open air. I'm going to go GPS because I had the track log, and I quickly loaded it into his GPS just so I could follow it because the GPS it doesn't work anymore. It's a little bit off. So I took off, and if you haven't heard this story, I was riding with because Andrew stopped, and it was you and Kendall, right?
Yeah.
And we were going and doing the Navi and training, and then you got to a point where I think you just said, "I've had enough."
Yeah, no. It was a really long day, but we went down a really shitty river.
Oh, yeah.
And my phone died.
That was somebody else's road book, right?
Yeah, that was Andrew's.
Andrews?
That was Andrew's book. Remember, he went down the big rocky wash towards Dumont.
Right.
But
Okay.
then my rally blitz died.
Yeah. So he was doing his thing. So we kind of grouped up together, and I took off, and then they started going, and somehow they passed me, and I'm just cruising along on this brand new 2020 KTM 6 days Portugal, this Portugal bike, and I ran out of talent, and I ended up flying upside down and cartwheeling and beat myself up. You can listen to Tech Talk Taco Tuesday, 86, 87 probably?
Maybe 86, 87.
Yeah.
Quite possible 88.
88, maybe 88. I talk about a little bit because I was gimpy. I kind of wasn't moving very well. I could use a vest there for sure. But my stuff did pretty good. I was wearing some of the foam stuff, the D3O kind of type foam.
Impact stuff.
So it all happens. So,
no matter what you wear, it's gonna hurt somewhere. And riding motorcycles.
Hey,
dangerous.
some guy named Jorge Justice says Ricky is afraid. It's a misspelling there because can't pronounce his name, is afraid of the heart rate monitor as he is afraid of the tire on my flat track bike.
Are we getting that guy on the show?
With George?
Yeah.
Look, he's standing over there.
He's in line.
He's not in line. He's like, you ever seen like a lion when it wants to attack?
Yeah.
Like, except it has a glass of tequila in its hand. It's ready to but it's ready to launch over here to get
Part of his training.
get onto the stage. We said we were only going to have Baja 1000 winners on the show tonight, George.
Dude, there's so many more people here you can interview.
Okay, you ready to step out? Do we have any other questions for Ricky, real quick?
I mean, someone else can answer too those questions.
Yeah, I know they're going to have to. Well, you might have to have you on later.
Later?
just to wrap up the questions.
Dude, we're at 42 minutes right now. This will be a 4-hour show.
We are.
Jeez.
Hey, I got a question. I want to know what's going to happen when you go back angry as a first place loser. And Andrew shows up after getting robbed of the whole thing.
Dude, if we put two Americans on the podium, that would be so awesome.
I think it's going to happen. That's my prediction.
If we could do that, 2 Americans on the podium, that'd be sweet.
Yeah, that would be good. You got a little work to do. Got a lot of work to do.
A lot.
A lot of work to do.
It's not easy.
No, that's the funny thing is you sit here thinking about how much work it's going to be to get ready for the next one, and then I know. So pretty good. Thanks, Ricky. I'm gonna let you sit down. So
the next up host is gonna be Jimmy will decide, but it'll be great.
Who's next?
I don't know.
You got some
freaking
The other half.
You got-
the other half of the equation.
some hare and hound champions in here.
Hound champions. You got Baja champions.
'Cause we
you
do-
got Baja racers. You got freaking Motorhome World Championship drivers.
Kendall and Jake, come on over here.
Oh, dude, twofers.
Yeah,
Oh, you guys are gonna love it.
yeah.
The questions, dude, are gonna be.
The questions are coming in. So we're gonna switch out of rally mode for a little while, and we're gonna go over to National Hare and Hounds. So we don't really talk to racers. We don't care about racing on this show because racing is like way overcovered. We want the technical questions that you need to know. And so, because Jake, you ride Kawasaki's, right?
I do.
So you have to work on those a little bit.
No.
No, they will run forever.
Actually,
I make jokes about them all the time, but I used to race Kawasaki's too. So did Danny Hamill. He won a lot of damn championships on those things. And then we have Kendall Norman.
Hello.
So what years did you guys win
Mic's
your?
off.
Huh?
His mic is off.
Oh, we got to turn Kendall on. Oh, it's usually we turn him off all the time. How's it going, Kendall? You good over there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you now.
All right.
So,
Hello.
what years have you guys won your championships?
For me, 2010 and 2018.
Whoa.
Yeah, and for me, 2019.
2019. So, if you guys have any hare and hound questions and stuff like that. Oh, somebody has a real important question. They wanted to know, did you win your championships on a Husaberg?
Definitely not. Definitely not.
Yeah. Thanks, Rusty. Yeah, we got it in there. At least there's some Husaberg talk on tonight's show. But Jake's out here. You're learning the ropes of rally.
Yeah, I realized I'm a little fish in a big pond today.
You're around some rarefied air around here.
Yeah, and it's super cool. Like, I mean, I wanted to come here. I know, it's one of the best places to go, and happy to be here. And like I said, small fish, big pond. But back to the Cowie thing. I bought my bike on Monday, put all the stuff on Tuesday, Wednesday.
The KLX?
Yeah.
I saw KLX on the thing, and I'm like, do they still make those?
No. Well,
No.
they make them in other countries. I don't know why they don't sell them here.
Yeah.
They sell them in like Australia, but I mean, it's the same bike. It's super good, super reliable. And like I said, bought it Monday, put the stuff on Tuesday, Wednesday, tested it Saturday, came here, and it's working good.
Yeah, I have a bunch of friends who still ride those.
Dude, it was so hard to get. It was.
Yeah. Oh, wait.
You like a KLX 450?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got 09.
Oh, you have one?
In my garage.
Yeah. They're amazing, and my dad has too, and I feel like we have like a really high percentage of what's left in the whole United States in our garage.
Yeah, I remember riding that bike, and it was I was like, this is a pretty good bike. It was a little bit behind the time, but for what it is, it's like a 450X,
It's
like a Honda
really
450X.
comparable.
It's the same thing. at the same, kind of at the same time, but we just was later than when Honda was doing it. But yeah, the bike looked like it worked okay. I don't know. It ran. It got you to where you needed to go. We didn't have to.
I mean, I didn't, but the bike did.
So, and by rarefied air, he's talking about like the experience of Johnny Campbell over here. Like he's done it in the bike, done it in the car. He's got a lot of experience, brings a lot to the table.
50 years old.
Allegedly, just turned 50. Not really sure what his motorhome Dakar World Championship. He's done it in a motorhome. That's like car,
I've done a
bike,
motorhome.
and motorhome.
I've done a bike or a race car.
More motorhome miles. And Kendall, how's things going?
Yeah, really good.
So Kendall is also doing. He's taking a step back. He was doing a lot of rally training with us because he was sort of like on the rally training. When you're Ricky Brabeck, you need to bring a water boy to rally training, and that's kind of what Kendall was doing, the water boy duties. And I liked it because Kendall forgot to take the basic class, but he knew how to do all the advanced stuff without the basic stuff. And then when they would sucker me into going riding with them, I knew that when we got to some technical rally navigation, I could like kind of sneak up on Kendall and put it to you. But now it's all over. My glory days are completely done.
Yeah, now that I'm here with you guys learning the A, B, and C's.
Yeah. He was doing the
hopefully
alphabet
put
without
the
knowing
puzzle
what
together a little better.
Alphabet without knowing what letters were. So, Kendall is super awesome because like my maintenance schedule is sort of what you call it, as needed, maybe less than needed.
Yeah. You definitely fix it when it needs to be fixed.
Right. So a couple of years ago, Kendall came and fixed some of my bikes. Like usually while we were out riding, he'd fix my bikes, and they've stayed the same since then. But now they're all broken, so I need you back here to.
I mean, the creator of the torture test, I just wouldn't expect much less, You got to really test the product.
Yeah, we do that. We run it out here. So Shauna Spencer says, Jake, are you swapping over to rally from Hare and Hound or just for fun, something different?
For now, it's pretty much my full focus. I did ISDE in 2019 when I won my championship, and it was a lot to do both. And I know this is harder. So if I have to dedicate a year, to really get my base and like try to get to the Dakar, I will, and I want to give it my all and like just not spread myself too thin, I guess. So for now, I missed my first round 2 weeks ago. It was Texas Hare and Hound. I missed my first round in like 10 years other than injury, which was hard because I watched the live timing and I was like sad but happy. But if I feel good, like I'd like to do the local ones because they're close, like Lucerne. It's easy for me to go to. But for now, just going to do the rally thing.
Hey, Logan. When you watch like races, like whether it's supercross like I do, and I say, yeah, I'm better than that guy, and he finished there, do you always say, that's how I do it at supercross? I'm usually around 4th or 5th.
No.
No, you don't do that? What about
No.
like, you don't do that? You didn't do that at Dakar? Because I like size everybody up at Dakar. I'm like, I could. You don't do that?
I think they're a little out of my.
Well, if you
Their
start
reach
young,
is-
you'll get really good at it. You can put yourself in the position, and you just tell all your friends, I would have done that. Yeah, that's what you do when you get old too. But if you start young, right, Kendall, it works good.
Helps.
I still do it to you every day. So Kendall, I've said this on the show before. Kendall was the first young rider that literally showed me up. That like I was at the time I was pretty good wherever I was at. And like, there's all these young guys. There's always young guys chomping at you and stuff. And Johnny, you made him go riding with me, right? Yeah. So Johnny was trying to teach him a lesson, and so they put him into the torture chamber or whatever the heck it is that I do. And it was just riding, and all of a sudden this kid is like, at the beginning I think, oh, he's just crazy. He's just taking chances and stuff. No, this guy Kendall was doing stuff that just blew my mind. And I always remember like, okay, that's it. I'm old. I'm now officially, there's kids that are coming up that have skill sets that are beyond it. And that Kendall was that guy. I remember the downhill we were going down that I'm picking my way down. He just went blowing by me, and you and Torsten Bostrom were the two people, and Torsten on a completely different level. And Johnny sent him to me too. I think you were trying to pay me back for that time I took Heather trail riding with us.
Not at all.
So
Elevate my guys.
yeah, it was always, you know, it was fun and super good time. So yeah, good to have these guys out here. So is Kendall going to race the next Dakar?
We'll see.
We'll see.
I mean, it's been a goal of mine. So I don't know. It's a hard task.
Yeah, expensive task.
Yeah, expensive, which
Yeah.
makes it hard.
Because there's no doubt that you guys have the skill. We all came from the sort of the same thing, this District 37 background, racing in Southern California, where we have incredible deserts, and now it's kind of, you know, proven that that's a good place to come from. Ricky, right? What do you desert? He left the building. Oh, he's afraid we're going to put him on the show again. Don't worry, Sarah, you're next. Yeah.
Yeah, so let's see.
They're stacking. The navigation questions are completely stacking up. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of excitement around rally right now, and I think Sonora will be an exciting race because there's a lot of.
Yeah.
Like, I have never raced a rally.
Next to
Jake's
us.
never raced a rally.
Oh,
know?
you guys haven't?
No, and I wish it wasn't going to be our first.
Oh, okay.
So, and I think a lot of other people will be there racing, and yeah, I think that's the first step. Just go see how it goes in Sonora, and I build off that, I guess.
Yeah. What are you riding?
A 450X
Yeah.
Honda.
KLX.
You're racing the KLX.
It's going to be super cool.
It's-
I can't wait to get all my stuff on it. I mean, there hasn't been a green rally bike in a while.
Yeah. So when I was doing it, there was a guy that was riding I'm trying to think I don't even know what it was, but there was a guy, was it Matteo something? He was always a Kawasaki guy. He had some really good sponsors from Italy, but you know, they had some support there, and it was back in the days there was some cool, you know, some weird cool bikes and stuff. So Rusty wants to know, who is your closest competitor? And is he asking me? I think he's asking me, right?
Maybe.
No, say probably not. Kendall, we'll start with you. Who's the closest competitor?
I haven't raced in a minute, so I don't know if I can answer that.
Yeah.
In rally?
Yeah, Jake. Yeah.
Kendall.
Kendall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Ray
Yeah.
over there.
But
Yeah.
I'll just say Jake, you know, and
Yeah.
we've spent a lot of days battling.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the Hare and Hounds for sure.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be all three of us, and I think Colton's racing too for like Sonora. I mean, we all want the free entry, so it's
Because that's in the Sonora Rally, they have a Road to Dakar. Is that what they call it these days?
Yeah.
The Road to Dakar thing, and that's where Skylar got his entry the first year. And who got it? Did they?
Samuel's got it 1 year. Colton got it.
Mark Samuels got it. Colton got it. And then do you?
Skylar.
How long does it last for? Do you know?
I think it's just that calendar year.
Right. So it's just you just have to use it that year, and like coming up with the funding to go do Dakar is an astronomical task. I think that's the biggest one. We were kind of talking about that at the beginning. I mean, when I got a chance to do it, I was lucky because they were really, really pushing to have an American come over and do it. They hadn't had American for a long time, and so between the organization and then KTM, and the organization was pushing the manufacturers at the time. One of you guys get an American over here, whether it was in cars, they were sending representatives over here. You go to LAX, and they, you know, Husaberg would fly in and have a big meeting with media and all this stuff, and they would get American riders and drivers to show up, and they were speaking some weird language about some rally thing that we didn't know much about at the time. But I was lucky because, you know, so ASO was pushing for it. The manufacturers were thinking, maybe there's something here. I worked for a magazine, Cycle World magazine, the world's largest motorcycle magazine. Okay, then I could use that as leverage. And I had to go and do a lot of stuff to prove that, you know, I wanted to go, because I sure as heck didn't have that kind of money at the time. At that time, it was about $30,000 is what would have cost me to just be sort of a, quote, privateer. And that was my down payment on my house or whatever it was at the time. And so it was kind of, that was the task. And I was able to, I think the first year I didn't do very good. I only did half the rally, which was bad. But I don't remember what it cost me. It cost me a lot, you know, a fair amount. And then to finish fourth, it cost me, I think it was $4,000 or $6,000. I don't remember what it was. That's what it cost me to finish 4th overall. And then I expected sort of like, okay, now I'm going to get some offers and stuff. And that didn't really happen. I suspect Skylar Howes is feeling exactly like I did then. And as much as I wanted to go back, because once you finish 4th, what are you thinking next? I can win. It's like I know what I know why I finished 4th. I know the mistakes I made. I know what I can do, but that's a big leap. You can kind of, I don't know, back when I was doing it, you could kind of be very safe and finish 4th because all the guys who were trying to win were not finishing. That's the difference. So kind of a interesting thing. So I didn't go back for a couple of years because I couldn't have.
Cost estimate for a privateer?
90 grand, 100 grand.
Yeah, I think that's accurate.
Yeah. Skylar actually did a pretty good video. I think it's on Red Bull TV where he talks about like kind of what it cost him to do it as a, what would we call him, like a sub factory rider, like satellite team. So good bike, has a mechanic, has the parts to finish and do all the stuff, and he spent literally, it sounds like every last penny that he had to go do that, and that's a tough road to hoe, and it took a lot to just even get there, and you're talking about a guy who's finishing top 5 now, and so same thing. I finished 4th, and the same thing. I could not get enough money to go back. Maybe if you're top 3, maybe that's the thing. But I beat guys that were making well over 100 grand a year, and I'm like, can I be one of those guys? So it's tough if you're American. Just saying, because most of those guys have sponsors from their own country, from their importer, whatever, however it works. So, got any good questions?
There was, are timekeeping enduros helpful for rally?
Have you done timekeeping enduros? These kids.
Actually, yeah, I have a mini championship in District 37. But I mean, I'm not going to tell you that I followed my dad.
Oh, so you want to like, what was that? Wasn't C? What was the mini number? The mini plate? L. So you had a 1L in the District Enduros.
Yeah.
Following your dad doing the timekeeping, because I remember your dad was riding the enduros back when I was riding the enduros.
Oh, really?
Yeah, way back in the day. Yeah, probably. I might be older than your dad. I don't know. Who knows? But so you don't know? Did you ever do time? Your dad? So Morris?
Yeah, my dad was big into it. I never I raced him with him and follow him, and when he would pull away from me, I knew that I was going to be
time
late.
To go. Yeah.
Well, I remember him just putting it to me still.
But what were you riding at the time?
CR80.
Oh, I was going to say, was it Z50?
No, you couldn't race them until you're 12. But to get back to the question, I mean, for sure, I think timekeeping enduros is going to help you. You're working with numbers. There's more discipline involved in the race. I feel like Dakar is pretty disciplined. You got to arrive to the start of your liaison on a time, start your special, neutralizations, very similar to how an enduro works. But just, the big difference would be instead of the marked course, you got to read the road book and navigate.
Yeah, it adds an extra element to it. And in reality, like the feeling the speed, feeling the distance, understanding time a little bit. So instead of time, in a timekeeping enduro, it's more about like the cap heading, maybe if you're going to take something out of it. So, yeah, it's good training. Kyle McCoy, who is a privateer American finisher, says our $90,000 figure, that's too high, not that much. So he would know. He'd gone over there and done it before. So maybe, and he's actually, it's kind of interesting. Kyle has sent out an email to a lot of the American finishers of Dakar. He's kind of like trying to compile some history, but he's also trying to rally some support along, trying to get some of you younger guys to go over and do the Malle Moto class, which is the sort of like the full privateer class. You are real limited on you don't have a mechanic. You work on your own bike. I think you guys both be good, especially Kendall. You'd be really good. You sleep in the dirt all the time.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, I could pull it off. I would consider that.
No motorhome.
Because getting back to Skylar's video, I think like one of his biggest costs was the mechanic.
Yeah,
30 grand.
So I mean,
Yeah. I mean, because you essentially have, if you have access to the parts, if you have the parts with you or you're on the truck.
his parts were like $3,000, I think.
Yeah.
For just maintenance parts, versus $30,000 for the mechanic.
You can get tires as you need them, but you only have 2 sets of wheels. That's where you're limited.
Tires were kind of expensive.
Yeah, tires over there are expensive.
Just to race that race, you're gonna need your tires. And
Well, you as a Malle Moto guy can get 12, but Ricky can only have 6.
So more expensive for the tires.
More
for Malle
expensive.
Moto.
So that I think that if I were gonna suggest a way to go over and do it to get some experience to because your first time you think I'm gonna go to Dakar and I'm gonna go race. No, you're gonna go learn. And I learned that I shouldn't get sick halfway through the rally and have to go home. But it's such a learning experience. That'd be a great way to go do it. And you just have to go over there with kind of like not a lot of pressure, just kind of go ride. Because it seems like those guys they race a little bit in the beginning and then they just start surviving. 3-4 days in, it's like, I can't really beat my bike up.
Yeah, I think it would definitely take the pressure off you, of trying to race and do well. Because, you're just trying to survive at that point.
Yeah. So there's some other, let's see. There has never been an American to do Malle Moto. It's because we all need motorhomes. We invented the motorhome, didn't we, over here? Yeah. We got to talk about this Motorhome World Championship. Should we get Johnny in here?
We could.
We could?
Yeah, we need.
Were you guys in the same motorhome?
Yeah, Johnny and I shared the duties for Ricky and Nacho.
So you had 2 guys in your motorhome.
So yeah, Johnny and I.
Okay. Can we get 11-time Baja 1000 champion Johnny Campbell? You allowed to come on the show? As long as we don't talk too much about motorhome racing.
I got a quick question.
Oh, okay. What's that?
I had a question on there.
Oh, you have a question on the. You're sitting right there. You could actually ask the question out loud. You just be like Bob.
I was drinking.
Bob's so enamored with that I actually got I got like guests in here that are worthy, like it's usually just me and Logan, and he's just over here interrupting. He's sitting on his hands right now. So okay, you can shoot your question out. Or do you want to read it, Logan?
What are you two doing to raise funds for Dakar 2022? And how can people help or find you on social media?
There we go.
That's a good one.
Look at that's a great question, George. And we just think you're over there trying to get on the show.
You ready?
You want to start this one?
Sure. Well, I'm going to sell most of the things I own, like Skylar. I actually started working a web design job in January, just trying to save funds. And I have a year pretty much. So, start early, started saving funds. And what else? I actually want to build a bike and Ralph let off. I think, he's on the Gas team now. Ricky Russell did that for ISDE.
Yeah.
He seemed to make a lot of money doing it. So I think I'm going to do that. And then just look for sponsors and maybe do some fundraising and hopefully win the Road to Dakar challenge. Save some money.
If you do some of that like video editing and stuff, we should talk after the show because this guy's getting a little bit pricey. It's like little inconsistent. Like when school stopped, his brain sort of turned off, and I think he was out partying. Like where you were partying, right? Went on a big bender, like. Kendall, what have you been doing?
To answer that question.
Get closer to that microphone.
I think just really get creative and work hard. Jake and I both know what it took to go race 6 days as a privateer club rider. And it was like $20,000. I felt like was the price we had to raise at the end of it. And it was a lot of work. And obviously this is a lot more. But I think I have more time to focus on it. And I think honestly just get creative. I don't have like an exact answer of how it's going to happen. But we'll just make it happen.
Maybe we should start a vlog.
Yeah.
A vlog?
First time rally.
Sell some merch.
Yeah, some
First time rally learners.
Vlogging. So I think so the trick is you get Ricky to put you on his thing, whatever his vlog he's working on, and evidently he promotes you on social media. He said he promoted me on social media. Because I've been feeling dollar bills just filling up my pockets from that promotion
nice, huh?
right now. Yeah, it is. It's like somebody put an air compressor in my pants, but they're dollar bills from all the thumbs up we're getting on the social media. So, you guys on the social media? Where are you at?
Yeah, you can find me, Kendall Norman.
Yeah, Kendall Norman.
At Kendall
At
Norman.
Kendall Norman, right?
And at Jacob Augie-Bright 911.
I'll follow you, Logan. You gonna type them into my phone or something like that?
I was gonna type them into the chat.
The
but
chat, okay. George should have done that, but he's not in front of his computer. The problem is, George shows up here and all those really cool links that we have in the chat. Evidently, we talked about this in the last show. You might remember because you were drinking, but there's ways that we can interact with more people. But I need some people to help me because I'm trying to train these guys how to do rallies and not get lost, and I'm lost the whole time, like in my training. Okay, anything next? Oh,
Exposure on this show is just going to get you all kinds of fun.
We're just going to skyrocket.
yeah.
I hope so. No, I appreciate the question.
Yeah, no, I will. Well, I'll
We can start doing it now.
I'll put your logos up here somehow on the screens if Logan does it. Johnny, let's get Johnny in here real quick. So we'll have
Peace.
Thanks, Jake. We'll see you tomorrow. Hopefully not lost.
Probably.
It's tough. It's
Go north.
it's tricky. Hey Logan, who's sitting next to you?
Kendall Norman and Johnny Campbell.
11-time Baja 1000 winner Johnny Campbell.
Yes.
That's a lot.
Yes.
Yeah, he let me do it with him once. Win Baja. So let's hear about the Motorhome World Championships. That's what I'm really interested in.
Well, the World Championships is a big thing. We call it the Worlds. It's the Worlds, okay? Just for short. But, right off the bat, you have this Euro piece of crap motorhome. And, most of the time they think they're pretty cool, like when they rent them and stuff. And but they are because it's really the only thing they have there, But for us, it's like a huge step down from what we would consider a quality motorhome. So first off, you got to start with this, this piece of junk Fiat powered thing. They don't have
Easy on,
a,
don't. I know you're getting stretched. You can't pound the table because
I'm very passionate about the Worlds.
passionate.
The Worlds, what it consists of.
I'm
is
not. I'm not sensing the outcome of this is going to be that good because I feel the tension.
Well,
this is like us finishing second in the Baja 1000.
Hey, in the Worlds, it's a big deal, and to accomplish and be in the Worlds, you have to. Remember, you have to be finding water during the day. You have to find a place to dump the cassette shit, which is full of Ricky.
No.
You have.
We had rules, dude.
This is
Hey, I've dumped your poop for like 3 or 4 years now in Dakar. Okay.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
But the good thing is really, I think what really makes the Worlds is having a great co-driver. And so, we can break up the driving, we have something to talk about and stuff. So, Kendall was an awesome co-pilot, and we had a really good run.
I didn't know that this was going on. It's like this is a secret event, and you can only hear about it on a show like this. There's no way, like if in any of the media that you had to do last year, did you ever talk about the Motorhome World Championships? Was it ever brought up?
I feel like that's a really important part of the Dakar.
Well, yeah, because if it doesn't get there, you're not going to sleep. So finishing is real important in the World Championships, and then if they show up and they're like third, they're not going to be happy, and you need happiness in your motorhome.
That's right.
Yeah. So how did it go this year? How did it start? Let's start with the start. How did it go? I know you're disappointed in the machinery the team provided you with.
But the machinery is what it is. I mean, that's part of the regulation. It's not like you can have an American motorhome there.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to start with a Euro motorhome.
I got one with a Cat C12 out front.
So
No, it's a spec class, dude.
well, I mean, it started out pretty good. We saw monkeys the first day.
Yeah, the
Monkeys?
Yeah, there's
baboons.
Do you know there's baboons? in
Dude, those
Saudi
are
Arabia?
it's the gnarliest animal ever in the world. Like baboons are so sketchy.
Yeah, imagine we're sharing the liaison with the athletes, so we got motorcycle guys passing us, and we just see like a huge pack of baboons and like guy in front of us has to hit the brakes, and we're like hitting the brakes, and there's like running across like 30 baboons, and then one huge one like kind of like wrangling along.
Did we see baboons on our Dakar? We didn't. No, we didn't have baboons.
There's monkeys in Malle for sure.
Yeah.
They warned us about them. I never saw one, but
I think the baboons were the year.
They're in Morocco.
Dude, they're sketchy. Like it's like I know what cows do, and I know what dogs and coyotes and stuff do. Baboons are like a whole nother thing, and they're just big enough to where they're gonna kill you. They're like literally, they're just the right size ball that's gonna like clean you out. So yeah, but motorhome, you just plow them right.
well, we would have if we had the opportunity, but they were a little fast for us, you know. You know the motorhome too. It's like you have to really plan your attack, and because you could be overtaken by another motorhome, and we have a speed cap actually. Like you're only allowed to go like 120 kilometers an hour max. And so because we actually have
You have Trippy. You have the Trippy. Yeah,
Trippy's in
Trippy.
it, and so the organization tracks us too, and we can actually get penalties. And if we get enough penalties, you know, it could actually be an infraction against the team and the riders.
Yeah.
So we gotta work with that. But you know, there's a lot of teams that really push the limits on this, and even like the Tomas, who was going against us on our team, like
The inter-team rivalry.
I'm telling you, like
Yeah.
it was hard to keep Tomas's pace, wasn't it?
I mean, I think like that's we're calling our finish like a solid second.
Solid second.
You know, and a race is about speed. You know, you got to bring the speed and the heat.
How did you do last year?
And I just didn't think we had the pace of Tomas. I mean, the guy would drive on the limiter the whole day.
And like corners, you know, you're on this Saudi highway, which most of the highways are really good there, but you know, it gets like 130 degrees there. And so like, you know, some areas like the pavement's really rippled and you have ruts and stuff. To keep that thing in line, and mind you, you don't have duals to keep stability. You have, you know, a sway bar like about 10 millimeters on the thing. And they're overloaded because Ricky Nacho
has a lot of stuff.
Ricky Nacho have way too much stuff. And, you know, we're just drifting the thing, walling, and, you know, you start kind of laughing because it's like, well, you know, if it goes, it goes. You can't do nothing about it. But, you know, it's a really serious deal.
Hey, back to the serious questions, Johnny. This is serious questions because Johnny was a team advisor for HRC. Helps a lot with the bike development, things like that. So the question is, will Dakar go into another country next year?
I don't know 100%, but
we asked the tough questions here.
I do not think so.
Yeah. You don't think so?
No. I think Saudi's going to keep it.
Crossing borders is difficult in that region.
I think in that region it's a little risky.
Right. And let's see, one other one. What the best guess you have? What rules will change in Dakar next year? Three tires.
Maybe 3 tires. We'll take one front tire away. No, seriously, the rules that I'm not really positive what's going to change.
You never know.
You never know, and then they have forums where our team will go and see these briefings and stuff about it and stuff, but they're trying to slow it down by putting more nav in it. And also, giving the road books in the morning and taking away the map man element to it. They're doing the tire thing, which we all hope gets reversed because, I think it's a safety issue myself.
Yeah.
But I really don't think there's going to be much. I know that the one big thing is that, they're
going to put a less speed limit on the Motorhome World Championships?
The World Championships could be a problem, but they're talking about putting a digital road book on the bikes,
right?
And that's the biggest thing that'll be monumental.
It's a huge change.
So that's a possibility. They wanted to do it this last season, but since we had the COVID situation and there wasn't a lot of world rallies to test the equipment, they decided to hold it back a year. So, and still even the outlook of this year of having international rallies is still in question.
Yeah, we're still waking back up from all this.
Yeah, it's still in limbo, so we don't really know what's going to be even available.
Then the digital thing, it's like so they said the top 10 cars were running digital platforms.
Yeah, I don't know if it was just the top 10 cars, but there was, I think, a fair amount of four-wheel vehicles using the digital platform.
Yeah, so they're learning. It's like anything. Anytime they change something, I remember when they went from open GPS to closed GPS, and it's just changes, it's evolution, and it's all that stuff. So we actually had the question. Somebody was asking about that. Hey, somebody said, Kendall, could you have tweaked the motorhome tweaked the motor in the motorhome?
I think it's risky.
That's a great answer.
But I mean, we're limited to the speed we have, so to get there faster would be good, for sure. I think it's just like, if you're trying to be the first to the bivouac every day, you're rolling the dice. And the style on the roads is like, if a car's gonna overtake you, the person usually moves over into the shoulder, and then you've gotta like make the decision like, okay, I'm gonna go, and then the other person coming at you usually goes in the shoulder. But it's like, seriously, we're splitting semi sometimes. And
Yeah, it was the wildest thing. Like those open highways are no joke because you have two lanes, right? One traffic each direction.
But it can fit 3 cars.
But they have good shoulders over there.
Yeah.
So the locals use the shoulder. I mean, and so we saw 4 abreast on a 2-lane highway, like passes, and they were doing it at 70 miles an hour like it's nothing. And we were just like, whoa.
This would not work in Baja. This would not work in Baja.
This will absolutely be detrimental to your health in Baja.
Yeah, different part of the world.
Do you think that driving those underpowered, sketchy motorhomes prepares you when you really get the big leagues and get to a better motorhome that's got more power and everything handles better?
That all depends if they let us use 1 set of tires or 2.
Hey, we got another one. The peanut gallery. The peanut gallery seems to be using the platform here. Some guy named Jacob Augubright says, "How do we get rally in the United States?"
Well, I think to get rally in the United States, it's possible, but it's really a big challenge, I think, because of the land use issues.
Yep.
But at the same time, rally could be more friendly to following rules and having vehicles that are street legal, and so.
I know this from Rebel Rally. I'm the course director on a rally that it's the longest continuous off-road event in the United States. But it is street legal vehicles, but it's so difficult with land use. Our land use regulations basically would not allow for someone to get lost. Like literally, if you went the wrong way on a off the quote route, the course, you can't do this. The organizer is responsible for keeping all the cars on the course. So the essence of navigation rally is kind of difficult in the United States. So we have some issues. We do have some open areas where it could be done. You could do smaller kind of rallies and stuff, but on the scope that you see these, they're done in countries where there's massive amounts of areas to be able to drive off-road vehicles and to do stuff, in countries that it's still a little bit different. Just like, there's a reason why they can have a Baja 1000 in Baja, but you can't have a California or a Nevada 1000 that's kind of to the same skill. And that's a controlled race with only one course. But imagine having a race with a lot of different courses, and it has to all be permitted and controlled. So it's a little bit difficult from that. So I think it's probably not going to happen unless something really changes, unless we start flying over the ground and not touching it. So which may happen. Or electric bikes.
Then they'll try to regulate that somehow.
Exactly. What does Alex Kinterer want to know? Kinterer?
Is JCR team coming back to score Baja Series someday?
The plan for our team is at the moment is not a Baja racing team. We're developing mostly our American side of racing and the popularity that's there. We love Baja and stuff, but the racing down there is really challenging, and budget-wise, it's a lot really challenging. And so I wouldn't expect us to be back down there anytime soon.
Some guy named Ron Wilson wants to know, is there a salon/haircut store in the area? He wants to sponsor Kendall. hey, Ron?
Maybe we'll go for a twofer.
Yeah. Johnny just wants a little hair coloring. I want some hair coloring too, but I have to have hair to put it on. So this just shows how stressful rally training is. It gave Johnny, little gray hairs today. Yeah. Kendall's like
Cold.
That second
it's
place.
cold.
It's dry air out there. It's not so good for the hair.
I heard it got cold in its rally training today because we had to do it outside and a little cold. Somebody told me I was mean because I made you sit in the cold, but it's nothing like a liaison, right, Ricky? What are the liaisons like?
Cold.
Cold.
Early.
Yeah. We should start the class at like 3 a.m. No. What?
Where are you gonna start the roadbook and freaking?
Roadbook at 2?
Where are you gonna start the roadbook?
Oh, I don't know. We can just ride around the garage or something like that.
Flat track racing.
Hey, when I first started doing this, I literally got the guys up at 3 o'clock in the morning and made them go ride like a loop, like 120-mile loop.
Vegas to Baker, back to Pahrump.
Like literally just a transfer, just a big loop. And so I'd get them up in the morning and say, okay, here's your road book, and here, go do this loop. They take off because they didn't know where they were going. They go and do this loop, and I go back to bed for an hour and a half, 2 hours. They'd pull up literally at sunset, and like they'd come back right to where the motorhome was parked. I'd walk out there, and okay, the stage starts here. They do the loop out by Dumont. But we trained different back then. It was easy. Got any other good questions?
I feel like we only reached about like 1 or 2 days of the Motorhome World Championships.
Oh, we didn't get into the good stuff? We're going to have to save that for another show. It sounds like we're going to have more tequila for that show. The Motorhome World Championships. Kendall wasn't able to make it in time for wardrobe and makeup. No, I did. I got myself cleaned up.
Who's typing that, George?
No.
George.
Hey, Kendall. George is typing quickly. He says that maybe you should look into the hair care products for the Dakar sponsorship. You know what would work?
It's easy. Just shave it.
Here's what you work. You pitch this deal. You go to Dakar and you come back looking way better than when you started. And you said you use these products. Actually, whatever that product you gave me for my elbows, I used it the other night. You gave it to me a year ago. That stuff worked. That was good. I need to put it on again tonight.
I think some Jimmy Lewis chapstick in his hair might help.
Yeah, we got a lot of good things for a lot of good purposes, but yeah, we need to work on the hair.
Yeah.
The hair department.
The hair product. So if you work at a salon or something like that and you want to help Kendall out here, he's taking any sponsorship at all right now in his quest to Dakar 2022, right? Okay. Are we moving on to our next favorite guest? So Kendall, why don't you give up your seat and we'll bring
Thank you very much.
Sarah Price onto the show. Yeah.
Killed it.
Yeah. So we remember this show. We do not talk about racing or racers, but welcome to the show, Sarah Price.
Hey.
So you're gonna have to tell everybody your resume, where you come from, what you're doing, because you're quite the deal in the electric four-wheeled world right now, which we'll work up to.
Yeah. The electric stuff is new, but I actually started off in dirt bikes, so 2 wheels. Did that whole thing for a long time.
Yep.
And then now I'm Johnny Campbell's Navigator today.
Oh, that's right. Johnny was driving.
Yep.
Yeah, because Johnny's usually a Navigator in the car.
He still had to do a lot of navigating.
So you used to do the women's motocross series.
Yep.
Back when you guys used to get to race at the nationals.
Yeah, so it's when they were doing the full circuit. We were considered the third class on everything, even the TV program. X Games used to have the women in Super X and Enduro X.
Yep.
So yeah, I was really climbing and then kind of just tanked.
It tanked or you tanked?
Both.
Jeez. Sorry I asked.
No, there wasn't much of a future in it after they took the TV program out. So we were kind of like, well, what do we do with our lives now?
Yep. And then you somehow transitioned into four wheels?
Yeah, I didn't know what to do with myself. I only knew racing growing up and training. So I started my own business and paid to get a side-by-side and started working on it and racing it. And then I was racing four wheels.
Because the first time I ran into you, I was doing King of the Motos, and you were basically driving a Kawasaki utility vehicle in King of the Hammers UTV class when it was like early on.
Yep.
How did that go?
So when I got into four wheels, I really wanted to go to Africa and do the Gazelle rally. So I saw it in a magazine. I was like, this would be really cool. So at the time, I hit up Kawasaki, and I'm not even kidding you. In like 5 days, they had a yes for us. And I was like, okay, I'm actually going to Africa because now I have Kawasaki interested, and they're saying yes, and I can't say no.
And so the Gazelle rally it's a pretty unique event. It's an all-women's off-road rally, and I know about this. I wouldn't know about this unless I started doing the Rebel rally, which I do the course directing for. But Emily Miller, who's a friend she's my boss, and you're a good friend,
yeah.
And she was instrumental in kind of influencing that whole Gazelle rally thing. But imagine it's a different kind of rally. It's not like Dakar. It's not a go fast rally. It's a go precise rally where you're trying to essentially accumulate the least amount of mileage to get from point to point in using only maps and compasses, right?
Yep, dead reckoning. So like we have old, outdated maps, and we're trying to like figure out how to navigate around these mountains, and you could end up in the middle of the mountain and have to turn all the way back down and then go all the way around, and then you're like, crap, I just added on all that like mileage or kilometers. And so yeah, it gets really sticky. But Emily, she was our hero when we were stranded up on a cliff one night. We slept up there with the emergency blanket.
Yeah, she has some crazy Morocco stories as well, being stranded or their car breaking in the middle of nowhere and having to figure out how to get parts and things there. So in the learning to do that, this we'll call it cross country rallies, speed rallies, a little bit different, yeah?
Oh yeah. So I did Sonora rally last year for the first time, me and Kellen Walsh. Yeah. We actually did really good, but he knows what he's doing. I didn't. And so when we showed up, like the first day before
Wait, you were driving, right?
Yeah, I drove.
And so you're saying you don't know how to drive?
No, I knew how to drive.
Okay,
but
good.
I didn't know
okay.
anything about rally.
You don't. But he was supposed to. He's a navigator. He's supposed to tell you exactly what to do.
And he did. And he didn't even we got in the car and we're on our way to the liaison or to the start, and he's just like,
oh, that was called practice.
Yeah, that's.
Did
practice.
you do that with Robbie Gordon?
Yeah, same.
Same practice.
Yeah.
I thought because we talked about this. I'm like, hey, when's Robbie coming out to train?
Yeah, no, there was no training. We trained.
Yeah, we trained. Yeah, we worked on it. But this is funny. This is funny with you car drivers. You just expect it's like magic. You can get a good navigator. Like Kellen's like nearly been on the podium in Dakar. Johnny's pretty damn close. These guys know how to. And you just go, I'm gonna get the best navigator next to me, sit next to me, and it's like magic. We're gonna win.
Yeah, I didn't even know I was gonna do Sonora until like a week before it. And so Kellen was racing with me at the Mint, and I was just like, hey, I really want to do Sonora Rally. Like, he's like, oh, I'd love to. And I broke my last like good razor right before at the Mint because I just was racing so much.
Because it wasn't a Kawasaki. No, because Kawasaki's run forever.
They do. They're strong. But at the same time, I just was racing all this stuff, and I didn't have any time to prep anything. So I took my dad's razor, and we raced a bone stock car at the Sonora Rally, and last minute, like, Kellen was in, and, like, I didn't plan to train for it. And then I've always wanted to go to Dakar since 2015 when I got back from Africa.
Yep.
But I had no clue how, and then truck racing started taking off. But now that's why I'm here. I'm training, so I
Yeah.
actually know what I'm going to do when I get in the car with Kellen.
This is smart. It's way better than most people that just want to like hire a navigator that speaks some weird language you don't know, and then you have to discuss things. And I know this from when Johnny got the gig to drive with Robbie. He's like, Jimmy, what should we? How do I do? What should we? I know how to get myself through this. He's really good at it, but how do you communicate to another person? That's what you guys were experiencing today. Mm-hmm. And here's what she did today. Like I said, she didn't drive. She went and navigated for Johnny. She told Johnny how to drive, which went medium.
Yeah.
Medium.
Yeah, she did a good job for the first time navigating, and I think that the thing is just like the guys on the bikes today for the first time going out. It's like they're just thinking to themselves like, oh, okay, I gotta go here and look down at the road book, and it's this
learning how to walk.
She's sitting in the right seat and trying to explain what she's seen on the road book and put it into words to tell me, where to go.
Yeah.
And so it just takes a lot of practice and on what the driver wants to hear, how much we need to know. And so we discussed a lot of this as we were doing it. And so we'd stop and we'd look at the note and I'd say, why don't you give me some of the detail, not just some numbers, because I don't have any instruments in front of me, but how about just tell me if there's a wash? Tell me if there's, a bush or a car. And that, just to get her
some reference points.
Reference and going. And that way I can, as a driver, you can go, oh, okay, well, there's the car. You turn left.
I mean, we all know he can ride a motorcycle, but really, Sarah, how does he drive? That's what we all...
Man, he was just...
Kind of like a chick.
Blowing doors off people today. He was going fast. I couldn't keep up with my navigation,
Yeah.
So it was really tough out there. But, he led me in the right direction a few times and kept us going.
Oh, he was kind of navigating from the driver's seat.
Pretty much.
I was wondering why you didn't punch him. That's what I said, right, Ricky?
No,
I'm like, there's gonna be some punches thrown in that car.
It was funny because there's times that we came up to something and he's like, "Oh, you said we needed to be in the wash." I was like, "Oh yeah." I'm like, "I'm sorry." He's like, "We turned right on. Was that supposed to be a road?" And I was like, "Yeah, I should be telling you this stuff, but I'm sorry. I didn't come like."
Here's why motorcycle racers make really good drivers / navigators, either or, is because we used to have to do it all ourselves. And so when you can sit in the passenger seat, it's like kind of calming because like you can look down and not get killed. You can take a little bit of time to think about it. And I think it's funny because especially when people contact me about training, they are like, I'm just going to get a good navigator. And I don't, I'm a driver. I don't need a navigator. I just want to know a little bit. And like, you need to know as much as the other guy because then all of a sudden you have two brains are better than one. And when you start figuring out how to communicate, that's the trick with that team. Communicate, and then you can, when someone starts making something that doesn't feel right to the other one, you can at least ask the question. You can say, is that right? And it's like, oh, like you said, it's like, oh yeah, the wash. Oh, I should have said the wash. And then next time you'll say the wash, and all that stuff works. So to take the time to learn how to do the other person's job at that point is huge. And you have the terrain reading and all that stuff from your truck driving and from the motorcycle driving, all this motorcycle riding. It does make a big difference. Logan, what's the best question we have?
Rusty Nail, what was it like to be interviewed by Forbes?
Forbes. Yeah, Forbes. Forbes is what you kids call the financial magazine that Forbes is. It's like, they have a list of the most richest people in the world, Logan. That's where you want to get. Forbes. Got it.
Forbes.
Don't worry, we don't pick on anybody on this show. Where it's like super nice, happy times.
It was pretty cool. The fact that they even want to talk to me is kind of crazy, but yeah, it was awesome to share a little insight, and they got to give a little highlight to off-road racing and everything that I've done. So it was pretty cool to get that out there in such a big platform.
Yeah. And tell everybody here kind of what you're doing with the I don't even know what's called, the e-car.
Yep. So it's called Extreme E. It's an electric SUV. We're going to be racing now Chip Ganassi Racing, me and Kyle LeDuc are racing the GMC EV. or Hummer EV, and we're racing all around the world in these highly impacted areas, basically showing awareness to where we're racing. And yeah, it's all electric everything. Like they have a ship that our cars go on, and we're staying on the ship, like all teams.
It's like the ship's running on biodiesel and it's charging the cars or weird things like this. Yeah.
I think it's almost electric. I think they even have it on the side of the ship.
It's supposed to be net zero racing.
Pretty much. It's like, I forget their slogan, but it's like on the road to zero or something like that.
And it's kind of cool. So somebody asked about like, hey, can we rally race in the United States? And this is, it's forward thinking like this. You know, it may seem kooky to somebody just like, burn gas, haul ass, and all this stuff like that. It's like yeah, but they're talking about you guys are going to be racing in old mining pits and areas that are like waste dumps and things like that. I mean, it doesn't sound like the best, but they're ideally trying to draw awareness like, hey, there are areas where we can recreate and do this kind of stuff. So yeah, maybe there is the future where we can do, you know, rallies in the United States if some of the awareness changes or perception. So I think it's really cool. I mean, change is good. Sometimes it comes a little bit rough, but so when you guys are racing, this is questions I have. You guys have like one battery charge to race on, so you literally kind of have to manage your battery, right?
So the races are like 10 to 12 minutes a lap. And so I get to do a lap and Kyle gets to do a lap. There's a male and female on every team. And the battery can hold enough charge to go as fast as you want or as fast as you can.
Yeah.
We're racing. And we're door-to-door racing too.
Yep.
In that amount of time. But these cars have like, it's more like a Dakar, like the Peugeot. It's very similar to those kind of cars. But they have all these like safety buttons on them because electric racing's a whole different thing when it comes to safety. So like if we hit, which this is where I'm like most worried about, is like that button gets ripped off and then the car won't go. So I'm like, okay, so we have to like play it smart where you're actually contacting each other. And
so it's not like we're in the trophy truck, you just ram somebody out of the way.
Oh yeah.
And you do this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, ram people out of the way in the trophy trucks.
Yeah, Well,
No. What was that?
And on the flat track.
And on the flat. Oh.
I don't think we touch.
Flat track? No, you annihilated every one of us.
No.
So she is the new like so.
Queen of flat track.
Okay, so you might have heard in this show, but you might have heard in the show before. We have a flat track here. So Sarah brings out her KLX 110. Oh,
Which they think is a monstrous bike.
Don't worry. Like Yamaha might have heard about this. They go, hey, do you need a TTR 110? Like I'm like it's gonna help me.
Badge is an 80.
Huh?
Isn't it badge is an 80?
Her 110? No, it says 110 on the side.
It's running race gas right now, VP.
Oh, wow.
I could smell that. I could smell that. I knew there was some reason. I need an excuse. So we went out and like did like a couple warm up laps and everybody's sizing each other up or something like that. And I proceeded to pull off the track. So I threw down some heaters there. I proceeded to look at Sarah and I go, you know what? I own this place. and I meant that seriously because I do own the place, the track and stuff. But anyway, so like the next thing, like she's ripping around in this thing and I'm like, I got problems. And then she's taking Ricky out, knocking him off the track. And like George was no contest. Jim was trying to block her. Like it was ugly. I think you pretty much won every race yeah.
Ricky's just laughing because he's like, right when I called out that you just get arm pump really fast, he goes, you pulled off and you said you got arm pump.
As soon as you step up to the big bike.
Oh, the big bike.
The big 80.
The 80.
You got arm pump on the 100?
Oh, I don't ever
It's
ride
not a 100,
anymore.
by the
I
way.
get arm pump every time I ride anymore, and I'm trying to get through it, but then I have to like take off for another race, and then I'm like, I don't get to ride for a while, and it comes back.
Yeah, these
I
motorcycles.
think it was the yoga pants and Doc Martens.
Could have been those.
That's a race car helmet.
Race car helmet,
Race
yeah.
car helmet.
I mean, all the gear was right there, but yeah, you're banned.
I was wearing your gloves.
Yeah, you're pretty much banned from the track. Yeah, you can't get beat by a girl around
I
here.
brought the lights, man.
Oh, yeah, the sponsor. Who brought the lights? Sponsor?
Yeah. I
Yeah?
sponsored the track last night.
Do you want to throw out sponsor plugs?
Oh yeah, C-Double, they're pretty cool.
Yeah, they're like light balls that we can do night racing now. We just got to figure out. We got to get a budget. Logan's got to work on that.
They're awesome.
It's part of his sponsorship proposal he's doing for the flat track. You working on that?
Every second that I've known about it.
Okay, so you send pictures that she put on her Instagram where like 8,000 million people followed, and then say, hey, if we had a set of these, we'd do that, and like our 3 followers and then George's 6 followers would all like repost it, and we can probably get like 25% off or something like that. Or we just like do a couple posts and then maybe they'll give us 50% off. So you start working on that, Logan. I think we're going to be racing to candles. Racing the candles? Yeah. I have a light. I have a light pole up there. Yeah, we got to figure out. I need a trencher and some other stuff.
Tomorrow night live, right?
Are we going live tomorrow night after the thing? Okay, Ricky's got. You follow Ricky on the what are we following you on? Where is it live? For the flat track racing. Ricky Barbeck.
Brabeck.
Yeah, that's how Siri says it too.
Yeah, Brabeck.
Brabeck. Yeah. So. Anyways, that's it. Do we have anything else to talk about? Does anybody else have any issues we need to bring up here? Because we answered absolutely 0 motorcycle tech questions tonight. So that's
We asked
what oil should you use? Mike Shirley, you had to bring that up. Johnny, what oil should you use?
VP Powersports lubricants.
Okay.
Yep.
Is that what you say, Sarah?
Oh yeah, VP all the way.
Logan?
whatever the dad sponsors.
Yeah, and I say you should have oil in your vehicle. That's the oil you should use. Make sure it's in there. Yeah.
We seriously got your near forks on your pit bike were leaking oil, and you had to add oil because they were just
The air forks?
And your
yeah, they were air forks, but I put oil back in them and they became normal forks. I didn't like my mechanic Kendall. My mechanic should have been fixing my vehicles, but he's not really my mechanic. He's more worried about this Motorhome World Championship and Dakar racing stuff. He's got side jobbing and stuff like that. So, okay, if you have any other questions for any of our guys, you're gonna have a few more seconds to kind of toss them in there. We answer everything we were asked.
Pretty much, but we did answer a water and fuel question, so that's kind of a tech question. Maybe. It's
racing related, but then really, if you're getting water in your gas, actually, so you can go to dirtbiketest.com. It's this thing I used to be involved with, or sort of maybe involved with. I don't know. Got to talk to the other guys. There's a Googletech filter that Andrew should now carry with him all the time, and with that much water, it would actually spill out over the top. That's kind of a lot of water, but they were developed for like riding around in Africa and stuff to separate water out from gas. But and then, I mean, some of the research I did, some of the bikes have better fuel filters that kind of help keep that stuff out. But with that quantity that they showed in his tanks, it was game over. I mean, it was way above the level it was drawing and stuff like that. Shauna Spencer says, any tips for newbies making roadbooks? Anybody here know how to do that?
You got to take the class first.
Ricky Brabeck says you got to take the class first. Make roadbooks, though. Actually, if you...
Roadbooks, you don't know how to ride it, right?
Well, I know. I would say make them before you even know how to do it, and then send them to me, and then I'll make Ricky ride them. Because we need some stress. We need some stress here at this camp. We need some stuff that doesn't make sense. And kind of, I'm gonna get like 10 brand new road books out of this. We're gonna have some fun next week. So, use rallynavigator.com. Yeah, definitely go to rallynavigator.com. They have some free software you can play with, and you're gonna get addicted, and you're gonna get the next level. And then if you're into it, there's a big surprise coming in the near future with Rally Navigator. Right? I heard about it. I might know something about this. It's good.
I've heard rumors that you and Mr. Campbell are collaborating on a new venture.
Me and Johnny?
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out how to give Johnny a lot of money.
We did have a really fun, kick-ass tour on Monday. So
we did.
It was really fun. We had a good group of guys, and the sweep riders were excellent, of course.
Awesome sweep riders? Oh, you have to sign up for the JLROffroad.com newsletter. JimmyLewisOffroad.com. Sign up for the newsletter. You will learn a little bit about a tour. We have that other sponsor. What kind of bike do you ride, Logan?
My KTM.
What is a KTM? This is Logan's read right here. I'm gonna fact check them on. Did you practice?
The
You practiced on last week's show.
and the 30 seconds of sound check.
Okay. Oh, that's right. You did. Yeah, I heard you reading something. I wasn't paying attention. I was listening to the sound. So, let her rip.
KTM is powered by a distinct ready-to-race mentality. And, that was not a great start.
No, that was exactly what it was. That's
Except for the next part.
the part you forgot because you didn't study.
Yeah.
Okay. How much? Can we make a bet, me and you? Like, let's bet something. I'll bet you that you can't read this perfect on the next show.
Okay.
What do you want to bet?
I don't know.
You don't know.
He rides a 50 at the next school.
Okay. Yeah, you're riding a 50 at the next school if you can't do it right. But what do you get out of me if you do it right?
You ride it.
No, I got a thing. Okay, so powered by a distinct ready race mentality, KTM
Is the world's leading high-performance street and off-road motorcycle manufacturer with North American headquarters based in Marietta, California. KTM is known on the racetracks around the world and
but they built a reputation.
as a fierce competitor on the racetracks around the world and is shown in every product it develops and every move it makes.
But what about the brand's global
Remarkable global success.
Yeah, what about that?
There's more to that.
What about the moves it makes? We butchered this whole thing. You're gonna get canned if you don't do this better. Okay, I tell you what. Either if you blow it, not only if you blow it next time, are you riding a 50 of the next class? We're gonna get canned from this whole show. So, anyways, with that, guys, hey, thanks a lot for showing up. Hopefully, we answered most of your Dakar questions. I'm stoked these guys show up and have a good time with us. It's not a real podcast. It's just a couple, cool times with good friends. But everybody, thanks for coming on. Thanks, Sarah. Thanks, Johnny. Thank you, Ricky Brabeck, for co-hosting tonight. Thank you, National Hare and Hound champions Kendall Norman and Jacob Augebright. Who else do we have on the show? Oh, Logan. Thanks, Logan. You almost did your read pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good.
I mentioned Sarah.
That one
Sarah
second.
Price. Did I mention Sarah?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Sarah Price for coming on.
you.
Hey, cheer her on in the e-vehicle races. I'm excited to see this. It should be pretty cool, and especially on this road to Dakar. Do you have a deal for Dakar yet?
No, nothing for sure in place yet, but
You're gonna have to sell
I'm
everything.
determined.
You're gonna have to sell everything Ricky has.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, his house, his Raptor, yeah, all of his favorite things.
She has
His
way more shit than I do.
his UTVs.
Tell everyone that. Why don't you tell everyone what you're selling?
Oh wait, we're selling.
A lot of stuff.
Oh,
I always
wait,
have
what?
stuff for
Yeah,
sale.
yeah.
Ricky gets mad because his garage isn't big enough for me, and I told him that one time, and I've never heard the end of it.
Okay, so what you gotta throw out all your stuff. You burn fuel.
Yeah. Well, I have a lot of razors right now. I'm
For sale.
replenishing, and then we're getting ready to.
Where do they find this all out? On the Instagrams?
Yeah, just direct message me somewhere if you're interested in razor stuff.
Razor stuff. I break mine every time I drive it. I should contact you.
I just came up on a bunch of them that just keep sitting in my garage, and now I don't have a big enough garage, so gotta get rid of stuff.
So cool. Okay, everybody, thanks again. And with that, we will see you out on the trail. So cheers.